coordinator, Tony Sparano, spoke to reporters on Thursday. This is what he had to say about Mark Sanchez and backup Tim Tebow. Obviously, our first goal here is to turn Tim into ... to continue to work with him and to have him mature as a quarterback. That's what we're trying to do here. With that being said, he comes in with a different skill set, obviously, from college. That's a good thing for us. He has the ability to do a lot of different jobs. At the same game, that's what you really want. Fundamentally, Tim has gotten much better. You could see the amount of time he has spent at it. He's completely different now than he was when he came out of college. So, Stephen A., what is Sparano really saying here?
Oh, here we go.
Cue the laugh track.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead, man.
No,
Go ahead.
You take it, Mr. Laugh Track. Go ahead.
Listen, man, listen. You know, I don't know what's funnier, this or Tiago Splitter. You know, I don't know what to say. Tim Tebow can't get any worse. Of course, he's getting better. How much worse can you be? You know, as a passer, of course, not as a football player, not as a person, but a passer. As a passer, as a thrower, how much worse can you be? So I mean, you know, and Sparano talking about it. I mean, what I would say is consider the source. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not that big of a fan of Sparano. Maybe as an offensive coordinator, sure. But certainly not as a head coach with the job that he did in Miami. I don't know why they brought him in. You know, as far as I'm concerned, he was working for the enemy. You know, as a coach for the Miami Dolphins, an AFC East rival. What you bring him here for? It's just my personal opinion. But I guess one of the reasons is because evidently he has a love and affection for Tebow, similar to Skip Tebow himself. So I understand it. I get it. And I don't completely disagree. I think that Tim Tebow can run the football. I think that he can be utilized by the Jets as a football player. But when you start talking about his ability to throw and how much he's improved, I would hope so. I really, really would hope so.
Okay, now
because he's got a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, now let me interpret this correctly for you.
Please do.
I focus in on one statement that Sparano made that he did not finish, that ended with an ellipses, a ... And that statement is, our first goal here is to turn ... And I'm going to finish that sentence for him and for you, Stephen A. Smith, is to turn Tim Tebow into our starting quarterback. I remind you, Tim Tebow proved to both these men, Sparano and Rex Ryan, right under their upturned noses, that he's one of the top clutch fourth quarter, late game quarterbacks in the National Football League. He did it at Miami, and he did it to Rex in Denver. And both of these guys are fascinated by the run-pass combination that he brings to their table with the Jets, because they can do the things that they want to do. They can run the football, be the #1 running offense in the National Football League, thanks to Tim Tebow. And they know that, as Sparano made the point, Tim has made dramatic improvement from the time that Sparano and staff coached him at the Senior Bowl after his last year at Florida. They've seen the improvement. They know what happens in the fourth quarter, that he gets deadly accurate. They know that he's one of the better deep passers in the NFL already. They will continue to work with that, to groom that, to fit him into what they want to do. And he's catching himself because he doesn't want to appear to be completely dismissing Mark Sanchez. He had nice things also to say about Sanchez, but he stopped just short of saying he's going to be our starting quarterback, which is what I said from the start. And trust me, Sparano was in on this decision, along with Rex, to convince Tebow to please come to the Jets. Don't go back to your hometown of Jacksonville, because we are going to give you a silver platter opportunity to take our job away from a guy we don't trust in Mark Sanchez.
Skip Bayless, as you elocute this rhetoric out of your mouth, you sound more hypocritical and more pathetic with each second.
Hypocritical?
Here you are,
Me?
just the other day. Here you are, just the other day, Skip Bayless, lamenting the fact that the Washington Redskins brought on Kirk Cousins, okay, and how that is going to serve to the detriment of Robert Griffith III,
Absolutely.
and it's going to sabotage RG3.
Stunt his
But
growth.
in the same breath, it appears as if the New York Jets with Sparano are doing the same thing to Mark Sanchez, and you appear to have no problem with it. Because it's Tim Tebow we're talking about here. Tim Tebow, all right? You sitting there talking about it's one of the best deep passes. What are you talking about? You have any idea how you sound? This is insanity.
It's
I
not
don't even know what
insanity,
to
it's just
say
the
to you.
truth.
I don't even know what to say to you about this stuff anymore.
Well, it's just the
It
truth.
makes no
You saw it with
sense.
your own eyes.
Oh, stop.
You
Our
just-
dead clock is right twice
Oh,
a day.
here we go again.
So what? He
I
threw
wish
a
you'd
couple
get
of
a
good
new
passes.
analogy
So
that you can
what?
make. Yeah.
No, because
Okay.
it's the truth.
Okay.
It's the truth.
Now let's get back to the hypocritical shot that you took at me.
Yes, because of Kirk
RG3.
Cousins.
Okay, RG3 is going to be better than Andrew Luck, but you don't want to stunt his growth by drafting another rookie quarterback that you tell your fans should have gone in the second round or maybe even the bottom of the first round. You don't want to give fickle fans a rookie quarterback option with which to bandwagon ride if RG3, who's not quite
But
as
it's okay to
NFL
stunt
ready,
the growth. But it's okay to stunt the growth of a quarterback that went to 2 straight AFC
it's already
championship games
stunted.
because Tim
They
Tebow's
said
coming to town.
we've seen
It's
enough
all right.
of this act. We know what Mark Sanchez is. They're not sold on him, and they'll never be sold on him. You know it, and I know it because you're not
And you
sold
don't
on Mark
mind,
Sanchez.
and I'm not sold on him. But compared to Tim Tebow, he looks like the second coming of Joe Montana.
Well, that's your opinion, and
Stop.
you're wrong about it. That's not Rex's opinion. That's not Sparano's opinion.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm glad you brought up Rex. Because let me tell you what's going to happen to Rex. If Rex ain't careful, listening to Sparano, he's going to suffer the same fate as Sparano. He's going to get fired, and he's going to end up somewhere as somebody else's defensive coordinator, not to be a head coach again. Let him keep listening to that stuff.
Are you predicting that?
Let him sit there and hitch his wagon to Tim Tebow.
Right.
Let him go ahead and do it.
Okay, are
Let
you
him
saying
go ahead
Rex
and
will
do
get fired after next year?
I don't know if it's going to be after next year. I'm saying that if he places his faith in Tim Tebow, listening to Tony Sparano, that's the fate that awaits him. And by the way, I don't dislike Tony Sparano or anything like that, but I do disagree
Well, it
with him
sounds
about
like you
this Tebow
dislike him
thing.
the way you say his last
I don't-
name, Sparano.
I don't even pay any attention to him. The Miami Dolphins have been irrelevant for years. The only reason I pay attention to them is because they play on Sundays. That's it. And they're in the Jets division.
It's because
So-
you don't like the Miami Dolphins, but that's a whole nother issue. The point is, bottom line, Stephen A., Tim Tebow, your worst nightmare, is going to be the starting quarterback of the New York Jets. Here is further
I've said
proof,
that.
so deal with it. Get used to it.
I have
Swallow
said
it.
that. I have said that he'll be the starting quarterback. I never said he deserved it. Never said that. I said, but he wouldn't get the starting nod. Just like he didn't deserve to be the starting quarterback last year. But that's another story.
It's never ending when we bring up the name
Yeah.
Tim Tebow. We are taking a break, but when we come back, the NFL